Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Research Roadshow. Today is December 21st, and we have a special update on the Eugene U. Konnech case. As you know from the previous 12 episodes, we had a major breakthrough in the LA Superior Court when we learned about 350 terabytes of data going across the ocean, and it is suspected that these 350 terabytes contain the information on a lot of voters in the U.S., and this is a bipartisan issue. Yesterday afternoon, Harry came up with another breakthrough, and he connected the SCYTL, SCYTL, to a number of very important parties in both the Democrat and GOP parties and overseas, to major political entities overseas as well. So I'm not going to do it justice tonight. Well, I'm going to give just a 10-minute overview of Harry's latest findings. Then we will talk about it during the Zoom meeting tonight and tomorrow morning, record the Zoom meetings, and then rebroadcast either tomorrow afternoon or at 1 o'clock Friday that interaction on Zoom, because I need more minds in the room to really dig in and flesh out what Harry has already given us. Okay, so SCYTL is a international company with offices in, I believe, San Francisco, Barcelona, Amsterdam, and several other cities throughout the world. I haven't confirmed yet Australia, but I'm working on that. Let's pull up the first graphic. All right, here we go. Now, you got to admire the, excuse my French, cojones of these people who run SCYTL and their associated partners. They have their tagline. Come on, StreamYard, work with me. Okay. You've got to admire them, because up here you see that their tagline is innovating democracy. And I'll remind everyone once again that an innovation center anywhere in the US or Europe means the big club. It's not small guy innovation, like three guys in a computer in a garage. It's big guy innovation, excuse me. All right, so here we have SCYTL is like I said before, has offices in the U.S. on both the western and eastern seaboard. In Canada, I think Winnipeg, I have to check on that, and in Amsterdam, UK, France, in Spain, Barcelona, and also Mexico and Argentina. I didn't know that until just now. SCYTL is bragging about their ability to, quote unquote, innovate on elections and the electoral process. It says right here, powering 90% of binding elections with innovative, secure, and transparent technology. Secure for whom? Is that in some way tied to like the National Security Act? Could be. Just throwing it out there for now. Again, this is just a a primer. We're going to record the aforementioned Zoom calls and then retransmit the result of the Zoom calls, maybe with Harry's participation, tomorrow or Friday. Okay, the Carter Center. Well, we'll come to the Carter Center a little bit later. Carter Center is just down the road here in Atlanta, and that is a part of this. You know, the Carter Center is an extension, the Georgia arm of the United Nations. And like I said before, the more I walk around Atlanta, the more it looks like Atlanta is going to become the North American headquarters for this bright, shiny, improved world. All right, let's see if I can bring that other window up. Let's walk a little bit through Harry's latest article. Now, as we said last time, the Donna Wang, Eugene Yu's wife, has quit her job with as the head of nanotechnology, nanomedicine development at the Michigan State University, and she has severed ties with the Michigan State University Foundation. And she did so just 1 week after Eugene Yu's arrest on October 5th. So you kind of have to suspect that her departure from Michigan State and the Innovation Center has something to do with Konnech, right? Or you have to suspect that her presence in Lansing and working specifically for Michigan State had to be tied with the real motives for Konnech's creation and for LJ Connections before that. We'll get into that during the Zoom call tonight and again tomorrow morning. Okay, how come it's not coming up? SCYTL brags that it controls 90% of the world's elections. Excuse me. They brag that they power 90% of binding elections with innovative, secure, and transparent technology. This is Harry's Patreon. His Patreon post 7620-4996. Microsoft's co-founder Paul Allen invests $40 million in Catalan e-voting company SCYTL. Paul Allen, co-founder of Microsoft, has invested $40 million US in the Barcelona-based SCYTL, which is present in 35 countries and is one of the most innovative e-voting companies at world level. Allen will join SCYTL shareholders through his investment fund, Vulcan Capital. It's very interesting that Paul Allen would be interested in innovating democracy. I thought we had a fairly good system already back in 1970 before the creation of Microsoft. I personally don't, and I know my parents and grandparents and all of their friends didn't see a big need to improve upon the process. I'm a little bit suspect about Mr. Allen's true motives for wanting to help improve the electoral process in any country, let alone the United States. Okay, a part of Harry's stories comes via Aim for Truth, aimfortruth.org. Please check out this site. The British have taken over American elections and the U.S. military stands down. It's an article well worth reading before we get into the Zoom call tomorrow. Okay, please do support Harry. His two websites are brassballs.blog and newsothersmiss.com. And please give him whatever support you can, even if it's $2 a month. Every little bit helps. He just had to drop another $200 for a transcript. All right, now let's pick up this other tab. Mitt Romney. You've heard me talk before when I was still in neighborhood news. You heard me talk several times about Mitt Romney's performance as governor and the ties. In fact, I met with one of his top economic advisors in 2012, and I was very uneasy during this meeting. It was actually part of a job interview. I was very uneasy after that interview, and I decided not to go with that new startup. But it bothers me that Mitt Romney is tied in so many ways to all of these companies that we've been talking about. Not just the voting machines, 3 of the 5 big voting machine companies, but also all of the biotech companies that are connected with Donna Wang. Mitt Romney, on almost every thread you pull, whether it's a biological thread in Texas or it's a computational biology thread in upstate Michigan, Mitt Romney is often there in some way or another. And I've said frequently, while still with neighborhood news, that the most let's say un-American people that I've met in Boston came from Bain Capital. Roger, if you want to sue me, go ahead. All right, let's walk down this article for a minute. Again, this is Harry's Patreon. Harry says, I just linked Mitt Romney's Bain Capital to SCYTL's partner, Kantar Media. Okay, and I encourage all of you to go read that again before tomorrow's Zoom meeting. And then we're going to play a little bit of Harry's video. Now remember, 8 states now are involved in this, and their state, the secretaries of state for these 8 states have a lot of explaining to do. Again, this is bipartisan issue. Don't get to thinking that because your favorite candidate won in your state that you can kind of ignore all this and it'll blow over, and then everything will be going back to normal in 2 or 4 or 6 years. It's not going to happen. This is a bipartisan issue. We have foreign interference from at least 4 countries. Okay, let's see if that'll play. Oh, sorry. I have to start over. I didn't share the audio. Again, I cannot do it justice tonight here by my lonesome. I have to have bounce it off of 20 other people in the Zoom, and in that 2-hour process, maybe we can give some really good content to the other viewers. Come on, StreamYard. Bandwidth is doing pretty well tonight. I'm surprised. Chrome tab, smoking gun evidence.
With all of our SCYTL products, we work to bring an audience-focused, user-friendly, intuitive interface to our customers and end users. The SCYTL Election Training Learning Management System is a customizable e-learning system designed to assist election administrators in preparing their workers for Election Day. Once a student logs in, they land on a welcome page. All text and images are customizable and easy to update. By clicking My Courses, a student is taken to a page that lays out the entire training curriculum for that student. All courses are custom designed with a focus on adult learners. All training is bookmarked, so students have the capability to take some of the training, log out, and then return to the training at a later time and resume where they left off. The training is also linear, with direct instruction on how to proceed through the training. Each lesson has closed captioning that can be turned on and off, and the capability to adjust the volume. SCYTL's blended e-learning approach includes a variety of media, including video, audio, text, and interactive exercises. Interactive lessons are inserted throughout all programs to reinforce content and call the learner to action. We also employ gamification in our e-learning development. With this lesson, students are asked to place each item where it should be set up in the polling place. The SCYTL training team has also created extensive content focused on communication and accessibility. The content developed includes how to interact with a diverse range of people with accessibility needs, including visual needs, mobility needs, hearing needs, and cognitive needs.
Okay. Now let's back up for a second. As I said before, back in 1970, we had a process in every U.S. state. There was a process for measuring for obtaining some measure of what the people felt about different political issues. Okay, I think prior to 1830 something, the vote wasn't even secret. It was an open ballot. And it was done in the classical fashion that people have used for 5,000 years. They take a piece of paper, they write down their preference for yes or no on a given issue, and they fold it, they put it in a box. That worked up until 1970, and somewhere between 1973 and which coincidentally happened right around the time of going off the gold standard, Trilateral Commission, and all the other things I've listed, and 1997, there was this, we were told that there was a necessity to move to electronic voting because that would make the process more secure and safer and higher integrity and et cetera and so on. I don't think it's exactly turned out that way, but I do want to go and back. Someone made a comment the other day in the chat that this is just about tilting the that there's a few people in China who want to tip the scales in favor of one candidate, one governor in Ohio or Indiana or Georgia or another governor, or at the federal level, one senator over another senator, so that in the hopes that that senator will favor policies which are economically amenable to the CCP, their desires for economic takeover of America. That's only a tiny part of it, of what we're seeing here. Keep in mind that I said this a few days ago. There are several people at the artificial intelligence laboratories at our top 20 universities who believe that if you wanted to understand human behavior, if you really wanted to understand how the human brain works, you would need some way to measure the effectiveness of propaganda. And you would tailor the propaganda, or this is how controlled experiments work. You take a slightly different tack in the propaganda given from one county to the other county to the other county, and then you measure how effective that propaganda is, or which methods work better, by seeing exactly how people vote on every issue. And I heard with my own 2 ears, 3 postdocs at a major university in Boston, describing to each other, this is just after the 2016 election, describing to each other how they would do it. If you wanted to record someone's votes without letting him know, how would you do it? And you had to do it in a way that even a computer expert looking at the motherboard couldn't see any components that were out of place. So how would you do this? Is it possible to record someone's votes and not let anyone know, including computer experts, that it was being recorded? The answer is yes, it can be done. Now, just because it can be done doesn't mean it's not a proof that Eugene Yu or any of his associates did so. But it is very likely, given that Mike Lee's office in San Francisco is the only office within 25 buildings and 50 odd companies in San Francisco that is not a biotech or cancer research or therapeutics firm. Mike Lee's office, the name of the door says computer software, but it is completely surrounded by biotechnology, therapeutics, and cancer research firms. So I think that they are not only the Konnech issue is not one of tipping the scales in favor of one senator or another senator. I think the real issue is because Konnech is connected to so many biotechnology firms. I think the real issue is that our health data is being sent over. Now, Harry's article doesn't prove that. I'm not even sure Harry mentions that, but this is a big, even if you look at the fact that the Konnech trial, the Eugene Yu trial being conducted between November 10th and January 9th is being obfuscated, and the average citizen is being told, you are kind of in our way here, average citizen. Can you step aside so we can do what we need to do? This is a big issue already. If you add in the possibility that our health data is being sent overseas, not only to Nanjing, but to Amsterdam, to cities in Italy, in Spain, in France, then it becomes a much, much bigger deal, a bipartisan issue. Everybody everybody you're going to go to Christmas dinner with needs to get involved. Okay, so we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna talk about this tonight at 9 Eastern on our Zoom call. We have another Zoom call tomorrow at 9 a.m. And then we're going to broadcast the results of those Zoom calls over the Citizens Research Roadshow 5 channel tomorrow at 1 o'clock, or possibly Friday at 1 o'clock. Please get the word out. Oh, that's the we've discussed on our Zoom calls before, how do we get the word out? Well, those of you who are 45 or older, you might remember a film back in the 80s called The Blues Brothers. And in that comedy, which has a little bit of predictive programming, if you're an Alex Jones fan, there is a scene where the Blues Brothers go into a sauna with their agent, and they make a deal with their agent. He'll get them the Palace Hotel ballroom for one night, but they've got to bring in the crowds. Okay, so to bring in the crowds, where is that? So in order to bring in the crowds, they put a loudspeaker on top of the Bluesmobile, and they go all over the county, just all day, all night, broadcasting tomorrow at 7 o'clock, the Blues Brothers live in concert. Okay, I couldn't find the actual shot of the Blues Brothers in their Bluesmobile, but here's to jog your memory. Here is the Palace Hotel ballroom in Wasapakami. I think it's Lake Wasapakami, there near Chicago. So what's my message here? Get the word out. Call everybody you know. If it's after midnight, then maybe you can wait till the morning. But call people. Tell them to tune in to our Zoom meeting tonight. Send them the link, and then tell them to watch the broadcast of the Zoom meeting tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for supporting Research Roadshow. I know that times are tough, so thanks to Ed. I appreciate very much what you've done so far. I know times are difficult for everybody. Everything that you do to logistically or financially or the moral support, it really means a lot to me and to the rest of the crew here at Research Roadshow. So thanks again. Get the word out. Let everyone know that this is a bipartisan issue. Thanks again, and have a good night.